So here's our blood that's ready to go. It's 10:36 right now. I got 1 minute before I can put this in and actually spin it. So we can go ahead and move this over to the centrifuge. I'm taking all the blood, all the paperwork that goes with this over to my centrifuge. Set it up in front of it. And again, this is very repetitious. We want to make sure that we have not misplaced anything. We're going to check this all over again. Make sure that we've got every piece of paper with every single blood tube following the blood. All we're doing, when we look at our centrifuge, I guess I should mention this first. Before we actually run our centrifuge, we want to make sure all these holders are in here. If for some reason a holder is down on the bottom of the machine and we actually run this, maybe there's an extra holder. Once we start spinning this, that bottom holder is going to get caught up, jam the machine, and the blood tubes will shatter. So we want to make sure that it's all set and ready to go. You can stick your hands in here if it had fallen out and it's on the bottom to pull it out. So now we're looking at our paperwork. We have one SST and one purple 304. There's 304, one SST, and one purple. Food for thought. Purples don't go in here. Easy to remember because they're way below the top and you can't pull them out without pulling the holder out. Versus an SST. Sits out the top, you'll always be able to pull that out. We keep this in the same order. Flip over the paperwork. So my first paper face down is my first number 1 through 31 going straight up the box. My next participant, 307. I've got one SST. I've got 307. Put this in my next and my SST, or I'm sorry, my blue purple top is staying here in the box, so it's in the same order. I've got 300, which happens to be just a purple. I don't need to move that. My next participant, 303, has one SST for the first 2 check marks. That bold line means one of those or all of those that are checked would be one tube, and I need one more SST. 303, here's my first, here's my second, and I'll put them in the machine. Paperwork goes face down. Now, here's my third. And something that I probably should have mentioned. If for some reason all these stickers are gone, that 7 under this barcode, we cover it up. That was the 303 that we were looking at. That 7 is also a tracking number, just like on this form. So I've got 2 check marks for 2 blood tubes, 2 SSTs, and then the purple. I'm going to put these in. In the event you have shorter filled tubes, we prefer to have the tubes filled to the top edge of the paper. If we had a short filled tube, we try not to throw any blood away. We want them full tubes, but if this is all we can get and it was a struggle and the participant isn't refusing to get more blood or a skilled support, can't get anything, we're going to send it in and try and see if Quest can actually do something with it. If not, then they'll get a refund or a redraw. If for some reason we did have short fill tubes and we put this in here across from a full one, the machine's going to vibrate and it's not going to be balanced. So if we can find another one that's closer to that, or we could create a balance tube so that they're about the same level of fill, that way the machine will balance. We put this in the machine, make sure that it's all full. We're going to top off the machines with 6 blood tubes in it every single time until it starts slowing down. And then there's a pattern of 4 tubes, 2 tubes, or 3 tubes. And this is actually in the manual so that Centrifuge can look at and verify how it needs to be done. Now, being that I just mixed up all these blood tubes, I'm not going to have an issue because once I pull them out of the machine, I'm going to verify this all over again. We close up this machine, we actually turn it on. This machine's going to automatically run for 15 minutes and will not stop unless we lose power. If we're at one of the locations that has a large machine, need to be calibrated. If we lose power, we have to recalibrate that machine. If this one shuts down before that 15 minutes because there's a power loss for some reason, not a problem. We start it up again, run it for 15 minutes. It's not going to cause a problem with the blood. If we have a problem with the machine, we can, and it's vibrating, making noise, you have a concern, we can hit the unlock button. It will automatically slow the machine down. We have a couple of different machines. Some of them will actually flash a light and say that it's slowing down and it's coming to the end of the cycle. Now, once I have this machine with both these lights on, I can turn this and open it. If for some reason, right now I've only got one light on, the red light, I cannot turn this. This is a safety device to prevent us from opening this machine while it's moving. Now that both lights are on, I can actually open it. Does have to have power so you can actually unlock it. So a lot of people set it up and go, oh, we'll take care of the power in the morning. Highly recommend that you have everything set up the night before, test it, and run all of them at the same time. If for some reason the breaker has an issue and trips this, we need to find another location to put centrifuges that would be on a different breaker. All right, now I'm going to pull all these blood tubes out, make sure that I put them back in the box so they coincide with either other blood tubes or the paperwork that is together. First one is 304. Automatically, just because this is a bold number, I know that that's not it. I don't even have to look at that. There's 307. There's 304. I have one SST and one purple. Here's 304, one SST and one purple. I can turn my paperwork face down. I'm looking for 307. I should have one SST and one purple. There's 307, one SST, 307, one purple. Paperwork goes face down. 300, oh, that's right, I don't have an SST for this one. Here's my purple, 300, 1, 2, set to go. I've got 303. I have one SST for the first 2 check marks. And here's that bold line again that gives me one more SST. So I should have 2 that say 303. There's 1, here's 2. No purples on here. 300 was a separate participant. Paperwork goes face down. That way it stays in order. Now I've got 058, dropping that last digit. 058. I've got 2 check marks for my SSTs up top. 058. And 1 check mark for a purple. which is right there, 058. One other really nice thing about these boxes is they don't drop the blood tubes as long as they're not broken up. Now that I'm done, this machine's ready, I can get the next box of blood, put it in here. This one's going to go to the finish table, and we can go and turn around and pack it. So these two boxes have been spun. And let's say they have unspun blood, that wax plug is sitting down at the bottom. You'll see in the next slide that this plug will actually move up with spun blood, and then you'll have plasma on the top. We're going to work with this and consolidate these together. These are both spun, and try to eliminate the number of boxes. It helps Quest if we have all of these online forms and bloods, which I know this one is the bottom one, it's the last one, in a separate box. This way, this blood can go into a different room. It's scanned by that number in a different system. It helps them out. Otherwise, Quest is actually separating these down. It does become a little complicated. If it's too difficult, just put all the blood in a box and send it in. Quest will take care of it. Again, we're going to verify 058, dropping off the 0 on all my blood tubes. Put the purples in first. And then we're going to go to the next box. For the purpose of packing, we can save the number of boxes by putting these together. I can put 2s in one box, following with the paperwork. This way, as I'm packing this up, this box will fill down the bottom. There's 10. I can put another 10 participants on top of this. If it's a participant with 3 blood tubes in a box, then I can only put 10 participants because I can't stretch them back. If it's a participant with just this one blood tube, I can put single tubes, doesn't matter if they're just purple or SSTs. I can put 40 participants on the box. That way I'm saving the number of packing boxes that we're actually putting in. All the paperwork always follows the blood so that everything stays in order.